I love my low angle block plane, but nothing beats a power planer on the job site. Power planers are versatile and they are awesome at removing material quickly, easily, and providing a smooth finish. Milwaukee just released a brand new cordless M18 3¼ inch power planer, and this new tool is Milwaukee's 70th cordless tool. That's impressive. Everybody wants to know if the cordless tools are powerful enough. The speed at which you push this tool and the depth setting really do dictate the quality, the smoothness, and the end result of your cut. So I recognize that. I use the M18 planer. I set it at a 1/16 of an inch per pass, and I planed a bunch of old doors on a recent remodeling project, about 10 doors, with outstanding results. I also edge planed a bunch of hardwood boards, and I tested it at settings of 64th, 32nd, and the 16th, and it worked well as well. I did that here in the shop. On both those different operations, job site and shop, the planer cut smoothly and evenly. There was no dropping in power, and there was zero bogging down observed. Everybody wants to know about runtime. How long does it last? How much can I use this for? According to Milwaukee, this planer can make 75 3-foot cuts in 2-inch dimensional pine on one charge. And it also additionally can make 58 3-foot cuts in 2-inch dimensional oak with a setting of a 1/16 of an inch, and that's on one battery charge. That's impressive, but I wanted to test it for myself. So I set up in the shop here, and I set up 5/4 by 6 foot long poplar and 3/4 by 2.5 inch long maple. And I set the planer at a 1/16 of an inch cut, and I made successive cuts, testing the runtime until the battery died. To simulate somewhat of a reality, I basically, every pass I made, I rested the tool 10 seconds. Every 10 cuts, I allowed the tool to rest for 60 seconds. And I just continued to do that until the battery died. The results were actually impressive. I planed 330 feet in the poplar and then went on to plane 60 additional feet in the maple before one battery died. Weight and balance. This plane weighs 7.5 pounds with the battery. It's fairly well balanced. I really do like the handle. It's well placed and it's in line, great line of sight and in line with pushing. And I felt that the handle placement actually it makes it easy to control the tool and helps me reduce snipe at the end of the cut. The only negative with the weight of the tool is that it's 1.5 pounds heavier than my corded Bosch planer that I'm used to using. And well, obviously the additional weight is not welcome. I can tell you that when I was planing those 10 doors throughout that recent remodel, I didn't have to drag a cord around with me. And there was limited power supply in this house. That's nice. I went from door to door to door. I didn't have to drag a cord in to look for power. I just did the job, got it done. Cordless technology is really making our job easier and certainly more convenient. And with today's battery change and battery technology paired with the tool, you can go all day or longer on a single battery charge for many different tools. The planer's cut adjustments. It's a 2-blade design. It comes with 2 reversible tungsten carbide blades, and the front knob, which is also kind of a handle, is the depth of cut knob. It has 20 ratcheting depth of cut positions. The beautiful thing about the ratcheting adjustments is that they hold their position. And also these micro adjustments just give you incredible control for depth of cut. It allows you to set your depth from 0 degrees up to 5/64 of an inch. So the adjustments also are made, the clicks, the ratchets are 1 in 256 of an inch with each detent. The planer itself can cut up to 3.5 inches wide, and it features a maximum rabbet of 7/64 of an inch for rabbeting or maybe some shiplapping or something like that. It has a bevel and edge guide, and the bevel edge guide provides you that additional stability for cutting materials up to 3¼ inch wide, but also it helps you keep your cutter in line with the angle that you want, whether it's a 90-degree cut or you're beveling, and it will bevel up to 45 degrees. It will attach to either side of the saw, and the only improvement I think that this bevel guide could have is it's about half the length of the cutter, the planer. I wish it was full length, because when you get to the end of the cut, you'll lose that stability. There is chip ejection on both sides. It's a dual port ejection ports, and there's a switch selector allowing you to pick the side you want, keeping the chips away from your face and line of sight. This ejection ports, they easily connect to 1.5 inch diameter vacuum hose, which works nicely with tool actuated vacuums. There's a safety kickstand on the end, spring actuated, and it's on the rear of the tool. It allows you to put the tool down to protect the blades, to protect the cutters from the surface without marring the surface or damaging the blades. You know, the thing is though, you don't really need this on this particular planer, because when you release the trigger, there's a brake in the motor that completely stops almost instantly the cutter head. In tools of years past, that didn't happen. The cutter heads would spin down and wind down to a stop, and if you put the tool down, you'd damage the wood, the planer would take off, or if you put the planer on its side, you risked injury by exposing an open cutter head. I'm super excited that Milwaukee is even considering these tools, focusing on remodeling and carpentry tools as opposed to just saws and drills. I like where they're going with these recent releases, and I'm really looking forward to tell you guys about their latest tools that are coming out in the next couple of months. It's going to get even more exciting than this. Until then, I'm Rob Robillard. We'll see you next time. Take care.